Hello.
I do not feel like today is a typical Misery Monday.
No, it doesn't feel that way. No, it doesn't feel like a Victory Monday either.
No, I don't know. I'm somewhere in between.
No, it definitely doesn't feel like a Victory Monday.
In fairness, I did just have a succulent burger. One of my first, the fruit to bear on the old burger bets. With Coach Lance Reisland.
That was a great burger.
If you'd like to see the video, it is up at Nick Wilson Says, at 92.3, all these things on Twitter. You'll find it. But the point is, it was a succulent burger.
Good.
And honestly, guys, can we just be honest? The Browns played better than we thought they were going to play yesterday.
They did play better than we thought they were going to play. It feels like it's already been a frustrating morning of watching all sorts of people just try to throw Shedeur Sanders down and bring in all sorts of different equations while, I don't know, just ignoring the idea that they watched the game. It bothers them to me. I don't know. I get angry about it.
I thought yesterday was more frustrating as a Browns fan before the game than it was the actual game itself.
Well, before, that was the other thing. It was a weird day because we were talking, I did the pregame with Coach, and we were just talking about the reports and everything. It took us until about 2.5 hours into that pregame show before we even mentioned Shedeur Sanders' name, which is not typical at all, but also the idea that we were just in so many other directions than what the actual game is itself.
I'm not going to be fan shame guy. I'm not. But I would like to point out there were far too many people completely okay, and not completely, rooting for the Browns to lose yesterday. Guys, I can't do this, and I don't know how you can either. To me, rooting to lose for draft position in a draft where nobody's sure if any one of these quarterbacks is even on the level of the guys we want them to be, a la a Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like, could they be as good as Cam Ward? Dream bigger. But the point is, like, I think it's Brandon Little, one of the great Browns analysts around town, had talked about all the things you were hoping for. You want the Raiders to win. You want the Titans to win. You want the Giants to win. This, that, and the other. And I remember just thinking, like, I just want the Browns to win. Like, when did that become a hot take, that wanting your team to win at any point in the year is somehow you're not being a good fan?
It is fun to watch the other teams, though, and be like, the Titans really are going to, the Chiefs aren't going to score double digits at all in this game.
I don't care. I like that part of it. When it comes to draft position, I just do not give a rip.
You let the chips fall where they fall at the end of the day?
Yeah, like this idea that tanking is good and that we should be rooting against our team if you're a real fan. No, to hell with that. If you're a real fan, you're rooting for the Browns to win yesterday. And I'll be honest with you, I looked at that game. I was a little frustrated they didn't win because I thought it was winnable.
Yeah.
But I didn't come away from that game scorched earth. I came away thinking you were 10.5-point dogs at home against a team that was playing for something. It's not like the Bills are the 1 seed by a mile. They're the 6 seed right now. Oh, and by the way, New England won as well. So New England keeps their spot for the AFC East, which right now would make them a 2 seed. So, like, the Bills are playing for something. And that's the other thing. The Bills sleptwalked through this game. The Bills were trying to win the game.
No, they came out guns a-blazing. First 3 drives, they scored touchdowns.
I don't know, man. I was proud of the effort that team gave yesterday because it was antithetical to the Bears game. It was. The Bears game, they looked flat. They looked like their minds were on Cabo, and they put a positive in the column yesterday. And by the way, I thought Shedeur battled yesterday.
Shedeur did battle yesterday.
Like, it's just weird. It's just, I don't know. I just think anyone who came away from that game thinking Shedeur was awful, I think we need to revisit a lot of the December quarterback play we've seen from the losing Cleveland Browns because he gave you a chance to win yesterday. He didn't win.
Basically, after the Quinshawn injury, it is basically a whole line of backup players. I mean, like a whole everything. And not only just between the offensive line, but also then you have a backup running back. You have does Jerry Jeudy even count as a number 1 at this point? Doesn't seem like it to me. It doesn't seem like you can even find him. You have the worst pass catching core in the entire NFL. You have backup offensive linemen across the board, and it's a December game against a team where you're 10.5-point underdogs. Like that game, to be competitive in the fourth quarter, in many ways was a win. But again, people don't want to look at it that way, and I'm not going to tell people how to look at it because it is what it is.
I will. No, I think we need to have some perspective on this. I think we need to think about how games in December traditionally go, how the Bears game went a week ago. Friday, what did I say? I want to see this team be competitive. I want to see enough guys still playing for something.
Well, it definitely felt, by the way, like Kevin Stefanski wanted that win.
Yes.
Like I know in the past few weeks we've, I don't know, accused him is the right term, but wondered aloud whether or not this was Stefanski just kind of mailing it in and wanting to go to a different team. When you get Shedeur to basically not throw the ball deep at all and make that your game plan, it was a real game plan. You might have hated the game plan. I did. I hated the game plan. I get you want to take the free meals, as Coach Riz calls them. Throw the ball deep. Let's see what you can do. But that was Stefanski's way of trying to get them in a close game, in a competitive game, and they were moving the offense for a little bit. There was stretches where the offense looked alive.
So I will give Kevin Stefanski the credit.
He didn't lay down and die
for keeping the team in.
It was a real game plan.
Yeah, those guys were playing yesterday. I hated the game plan. And listen, I don't mind it for most of the time. At some point, if you'd like to win that game,
that's like his bread and butter. You got to kind of
put him on the table.
No, but that's his bread and butter game plan. That's why I think today he came out and spoke so glowingly of Shedeur, is because Shedeur basically followed the instructions and asked him, and basically did what Stefanski had asked him to do the entire time. He turned him into Dylan Gabriel in many respects, and that's not a compliment in any sort of way. I didn't know that Shedeur could be talked into having that happen, and he did.
I think Shedeur fans feel like their quarterback got neutered a little bit yesterday. I'm with you there. At the same point, I do think people are missing the number one thing why yesterday was a positive for Shedeur and the Browns is if Kevin Stefanski's still here, that's what he's going to want Shedeur to do. Shedeur proved he could do that. That, in no small measure, that is impressive. What's the thing they said? You know what? You can make the big plays, but he can't take the easy plays, the free lunches, as Coach Reisland would say. And again, Coach, thank you for my free lunch today. I really enjoyed that burger bet. We should do it again, but not right now. But at the same point, like Shedeur did prove something yesterday, even though they didn't get the win.
Yeah, if I was Shedeur, I would have gone against the rules. I would have made the bet that Stefanski won't be here at the end of the season, and just hope that that's the reality, because that wasn't great in many respects for what Shedeur is trying to do as far as proving to the rest of the NFL that he can play in this game.
Well, no. I think that is though. I think him being a check down Charlie yesterday. I think the rest of the NFL wants to see that from him. I think coaches want to see.
I just don't need a whole game of it. I really don't. I sat there and I'm like, well, I understand defensively what they were trying to do and limiting everything. You're in the NFL. Offense can beat defense. Make plays happen. Hated. I didn't like that at all.
No, I would agree. But I think if Shedeur's out to prove to the entirety of the NFL, like, do I think he probably endeared himself to Stefanski a little bit because he ran his boring ass offense?
That's why Stefanski spoke as glowingly today about him as we've ever heard him.
But it's not just Stefanski. There are coaches out there that have said Shedeur can't do that part of the game. That's why he can't be my starter. So you did put that tape out there for the rest of the NFL as well.
I wondered this entire time if this stretch here was just all about Shedeur basically trying to prove what the doubters are saying about him and rewrite it and like do so with the limited opportunities that he's been given. Like, I don't think it's an accident that most people, the most positive thing you can say about Shedeur right now is that he throws a deep ball. When the deep ball was the one thing coming out of the draft that people said he couldn't do, and he made sure to make that the point of emphasis for the first 3-4 weeks that he had an opportunity to showcase that he could do that. I don't think that's an accident. And so maybe this is just him, just again checking off boxes, and he hoped by the end of the season he's checked off enough boxes. But ultimately, it did nothing for me. It didn't satisfy me in any sort of way.
Yeah, but think about it. It's not about satisfying you. You already bought in on him. There are people that said you can't play within the offense. They can't say that. Like we've now moved. I see it on the 92.3 The Fan YouTube chat already. Oh, she's stacking up the losses. Great analysis, bro. Yeah, because that's why they lost. It wasn't the defense made James Cook look like Jim Brown circa 1962. No. Yeah, no, by the way, the defense was putrid yesterday. I know they put it together in the second half, but the point is that's why they lost. My point is, Shedeur did to one of the biggest things people would use to discredit him for one game only. He did that. So again, I hated it. You hated it.
I hated it.
But he did have to prove that to everybody in the NFL.
I know, but the thing I liked about it was that you could tell Stefanski was doing it. That was a classic Stefanski game, and this is why I think his brain is broke right now from an offensive standpoint. He thinks that's the best way to win a game. And I just disagree. I think when you're going up against Josh Allen and Cook and all these other guys, I just don't think that's the best way to win a game. But they looked They looked lively at the end. That's all that mattered to him. They looked like they were competitive at the end. That's all that mattered to him. I think he was trying so hard to make sure that it wasn't a blowout again, like last week, that this is what he came up with. And so from that perspective, they executed it, but it's not a way to do anything long term.
216-474-0092. What grade does Shedeur get for Sunday's game against the Bills? This is, if you're hypercritical of Shedeur today, or if you're hypercritical of the Browns or hypercritical of Stefanski today, I tend to think, I know this is the kind of game that I know nobody wants to do this because we all like to just be fire Stefanski, Shedeur is or isn't the guy. I think yesterday was a good day for the Browns. As much as it stunk to lose, I did want to win that game. I think it was a good day for the Cleveland Browns. We got quick hits coming up at 3:20 today. Ross Tucker, Odyssey NFL Insider at 3:40. We'll get to his thoughts on Shedeur's recent play. We'll get to his thoughts on the value of getting a number 3 pick or a top 3 pick. Nathan Segura, Browns analyst at 5. Obviously, Nathan not just in the booth with Andrew Siciliano each week, but a big film guy himself will get his take on Shedeur. Where does this offense go without Quinshon Judkins? And then Daryl Ryder coming up at 6 o'clock today. I will say that was the thing that was the one part of it that was really hard to take yesterday was Quinshon's injury.
Yeah.
You just root for full recovery for that kid because he really did a lot of really special things, and I hope he gets the opportunity next year to be 100% healthy and show everybody how really good he can be behind a decent offensive line.
Yeah, he just needs a better offensive line. Like he didn't have much of a chance. It is one thing, though, and Coach, by the way, it's like the 7th Coach Riz shout-out, but you buy his burgers, you get a lot of shout-outs, I guess.
True.
Coach Riz has been harping on this for weeks, the idea that his playing style leads to injuries. Like, in particular, his playing style not great when it comes to that part of the game, and there we have it. That was crushing.
I will tell you, it was the biggest issue I had with Shedeur yesterday. Because it was just a bad throw. He loaded up for like a 9-yard throw, and granted, I think the angle caused as much as any, but he clearly threw the hell out of a ball that he could have just kind of given him one.
Yeah.
And that was that was really the biggest problem I had with Shedeur's performance was that interception. I thought the next one that was tipped, I kind of thought that was on the offensive lineman.
Oh, it's funny. I've had a different take on this than I feel like most people. Everyone's kind of given, they've put it on Shedeur, and I just feel like with Quinshon in that play, you got to make that catch. I get you're a running back, and I get you're running. It's not something you're typically asked to do, but people act like it was like a big reach back in order to try to it hit him. It hit him right here.
Yeah, it hit him on the back shoulder.
It hit him right here. Like you can easily catch that. That's not. Is it the world's greatest ball? No, but also is that the type of ball that ball should be caught?
I don't know. I can go that far.
That ball should be caught.
I don't know. I like, but again, if that's the worst interception I have on you, something that if it had been a different angle, would have just hit, like basically bopped down to your feet. I think we're fine. Like I think the thing, like when people just put up the box score of Shedeur, like there was the third quarter interception with the Titans, where if he doesn't have those two touchdown drives at the end of that. We probably have to come in and have a real conversation about what a bad pick that is. Then what? There was one other bad pick the next week. Every other pick that I can remember with Shedeur has been a pretty understandable pick.
Yeah, even the third one in the Chicago game, Coach today was like, yeah, that's not anything you can put on Shedeur. Like, there's a lot of people that have kind of accepted that. By the way, for the EPA riders out there, we got to come up with a fun term for these EPA guys that think that this is.
I know you want to say something with riders.
Well, it's all these like these people that just think it's a catch-all stat while not really understanding what the stat actually is, and also then when I present the numbers the way that I present it, just want to refute it and act as if that's not something, because they don't know the stat. They just think it's replaced passer rating and QBR as a catch-all stat while not really understanding what goes into the whole entire stat. But we'll let the record show Shedeur did have a better day than Josh Allen yesterday, according to EPA. We'll just let that show.
Now, do we get to give him that credit, or do we also have to find a different way to discredit it?
I don't know. They'll probably discredit it in some sort of Josh Allen way, but we'll just put that out there. And in fact, if you want to really take a deep dive into it, he's had a better EPA than 2 out of the last 3 quarterbacks he's played in Cam Ward and Josh Allen. But again, I'm not here to go ahead and do that because that's just going to make it seem one way or another.
I think with where we are in the season, I think the bar needs to be lower. Like Jim on the 92.3 The Fan YouTube channel was saying, hey, it's another loss. I don't care. I don't put the losses on Shedeur. I really don't. Like, yes, he had what I would say is a bad interception to Quinshon, but you were in it. You're in it. And again, what I think is really important is he played the game Stefanski wanted him to play. I disagree with that. I need, like, I'm cool with doing what you did yesterday, the check down Charlie stuff, for a fair amount of the game. I need at least a shot downfield every quarter.
Well, and so this is the other part of this that I feel like not enough people are bringing up, and I feel like it's worthy of attention right now. I bet Shedeur was getting ready. They were setting a lot of things up in the first half for the second half, and once enough the defense was going to respect the idea that Shedeur was going to go to the checkdowns and he was going to be able to take the simple pass, because I think that part of what they were betting was that he wouldn't do that. And so once he proved in the first half he would do that, if not for the pinky injury, I think the second half does look a lot different. And I know, I got mad at the broadcast, like J.J. Watt, first off, do you even know the rules of the game you're watching? How many different plays did J.J. Watt just get fundamentally wrong? They had to come out of breaks and be like, I guess I was just wrong about what happened with Josh Allen and the ball over the line. I guess this is not the rules of the NFL. Like, you broadcast the games, understand what the rules are. But on top of it, the idea that Shedeur, in this entire stretch, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit what I'm going for here.
216-474-0092. At Nick Wilson says, at Jay Peterlin on social media. Social media reactions on X, powered by Shabin Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. We got one of those EPA Richard Riders, I think.
We got to come up with a nickname for him.
I like Richard Riders.
Oh, no, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. The point was that J.J. Watt came out and, like, diminished the idea that having a pinky injury would add. His pinky looks like a roast beef sandwich.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that one, that's nothing. That doesn't do anything. It's skin to ball contact. That should matter a little bit, but he'll be fine. And it's like, no, that probably mattered a great deal. I bet the big picture, I bet they were setting up for a big second half to have him actually unload the ball.
Dave, fighting back, though, the EPA, Richard Ryder, saying Josh Allen did not throw 2 INTs and the Bills won. Guys.
I can't argue. Again, everyone decided.
Everybody said it was going to be a blowout.
And everyone decided already that we can't argue with EPA numbers, right? And so if the EPA gave Shedeur a better game than Josh Allen did, that's irrefutable, right? Isn't that the point?
I believe so.
Isn't that kind of what everyone decided?
I thought it was irrefutable.
With the Shedeur discussion, that that's EPA. No one can argue that at all. No one can use their eyes and look and tell you anything that happened outside of, what the EPA number says. So here we are. EPA said he was better than Josh Allen. Here we go.
I think we're to the point.
If you can't understand the dripping sarcasm there, I can't help you.
Yeah, I got it.
I know you did
a very good
every
job.
now and then, I feel like my sarcasm just misses.
That's most of my life, yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
There are people out there. I used to not think this, is because as a kid, everyone in my life was very sarcastic. So everything I said that was sarcastic, it hits. But as I've met more and more people in life, I'm like, oh, there are people that just take every word you say as serious.
Well,
I'm not a very serious human in that regard.
Depending on how sarcastic you are, if you're also really good at just selling it, like there's always, like with me, there's always like I can see somebody watching to see if I'm going to break because I'm clear. Like they're like, I think he's being sarcastic, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That ends up being one of life's little victories. That's fun.
Okay.
Then you're like, I like that they're walking away being like, I don't know if he's being sarcastic or not. That's pretty funny to me.
I guess so.
You got to find victories in the small things.
You do have to
here.
find victories.
But no, I mean, I would put Shedeur's performance at a C+, B-. Like, he's not why they lost. Why they lost was the defense did not show up in the first half. And in fairness, the defense did show up in the second. I don't think you really did a nice job against Josh Allen. You just gave up too much. It was predictable what they were going to do with James Cook. And what was it? 9 carries, 100 yards in the first half. That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, James Cook has been the best part of the Bills all year long, and he was able to cook. And they let him cook. Exactly right. And he was able to do James Cook things, which is, again, it's fun. It's not the end of the world to have that type of game. It was interesting in the fourth quarter against a really, I'm going to call them a decent team, not a good team in the Bills. It's not the end of the world. It's just, it's tough. The whole conversation's tough.